Hello and welcome to Christine's Holistic Kitchen, and today I'm going to be cooking a nut roast. This is a family favorite of ours, and I just thought because it's so delicious I just thought I'd share the ingredients with you. Now I've just put some olive oil in and butter originally to start with. It will cook quite quickly, so I'm just going to turn this down just a little bit so that it doesn't go too fast for you, and then I'm going to add the ingredients. Now nut roast is a really popular family recipe. My husband's a pescatarian, so I like to cook this. So I've just added some onions, as you can see here. That smells lovely. Some lovely onions. Now I'm going to add some garlic as well, just waiting until it gets like golden and has a slight glaze to it. Now I'm adding the garlic into the beginning of the nut roast information. So that's onions, garlic. I use about a whole onion and 3 garlic cloves, for example. It's also going to have 3 eggs in, as well as some vegetable stock. We're going to add things in as I'm talking to you, so it's going to be pretty quick. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some pepper, red pepper, whole red pepper, and then I'm going to add some celery to it as well. Just enough to fill, you know, the dishes, for example. So I'm just going to mix that nicely. I've got the oven cooking on about 120, 150, for example. Depends how you want it done. Sometimes you can cook it slowly so that it's cooking slow, but you can change that. So the oven is preheating as we speak. I'm now going to add the rest of the ingredients, which is, we've got some mushrooms here. Chestnut mushrooms is good, but normal mushrooms is fine as well. So I'm just going to add all of the ingredients in. It's also got some nuts, because obviously it's nut roast, so can't miss that, can I? So I'm going to add that in to the mixture. So basically I'm just adding everything in, and it's going to all be covered as well. I've got my seasoning as well, which is salt, pepper, paprika, oregano. I've just added that in there, and I'm just going to stir that in so it goes evenly. Smells delicious. Oh, lovely. Yum, yum, yum. Now I'm going to add some carrots. So a dish of carrots there. I don't measure things, so I don't know about you, but I just go with the flow and I just see it. I get that probably from my mother and my grandma in the family, the women in our family. We don't really measure things, so I usually like use a dish that will give me an idea of how much to actually put in there as well. So I've just put the vegetables in, and I'm just cooking that slowly so that it covers it. So what will happen is I'll make the fish stock, and then we will then add the fish stock in so that it all boils down to nothing. So what we need to do is the water needs to be about 150 mils, for example, of water, which is boiled so that the fish stock can melt in the vegetable stock, sorry, not fish stock. So the vegetable stock can melt in the hot water. So I'm just mixing this in nicely. See how I'm adding everything in? In the end, what I've got is the breadcrumbs and the cheese and the 3 eggs, and that's going to go in at the end once the stock has boiled down enough. So I'm just adding the lentils in now. Now this is just a nut roast, but it is delicious. Okay, and then we need to put the vegetable stock into the hot water. Turn this up a bit. See how all those beautiful colors in there. Absolutely wonderful. Just look at that. It's just so nice. It just looks so, this is so delicious. It really is. It's very filling. Sometimes it can last for days, depends how big your family is, but this usually is for about 4 people, for example, 4 or 5. So, you know, this is quite a healthy option here as well. So this is cooking nicely. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the tomato puree, and then I will also add the fish stock, and then what will happen is it will boil down and then it'll be nice and moist. So just tomato puree in the tube, and then I just squeeze it in. Like I said, I don't measure. I'm old school, I just pour it in. Pour this in, tomato puree, give it a nice flavour. And what I do then is add the fish stock, and then it will all start to melt down. So we then need to simmer at that point. So this is the fish stock that I'm adding. Do a quick stir. So it's melted through. And then I'll just pour the fish stock over the vegetables, as you can see here. And then usually at this stage I will then have a lid, and I will cover the fish stock until all the water has disappeared. So as you can see that here the mixture of vegetables and the stock is in here with the tomato. So I'm now just letting it cook for about 20 minutes so that it really softens up and the lentils are cooked all the way through, so everything is yummy. So I'm just going to put the lid on now, and then we will just let that simmer for 20 minutes. See you soon. So as you can see here that the vegetables, it's really boiled down, and what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be putting it into a bowl, and then I'm going to add the breadcrumbs and the cheese just to give it a cheesy flavour. If you don't like cheese, then don't add it. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you put in your nut roast is entirely up to you. Now, this is very filling, just so you know. So the nuts that we've got in here is like pecan, walnuts, almond, for example. You can use whatever nuts that you want to put in there, really, tell you the truth. Everybody has their favorites. So as you can see, there's a lovely mixture here. I don't know if the camera can see what I'm showing you here. How lovely that is. Oh, it's just wonderful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the stove, the hob off, turn it off, and then I'm going to put the items into this bowl here so that it then mixes nicely. I know that looked a bit sloppy, but that was due to the positioning. Now just going to add the little bits here. Perfect. And then I'm going to put this into the sink. So I like to tidy up as I go along. So I'm going to move this hob over here. And I'm using a hob so that I can see you, so that you can see me, rather than me turning my back on you at my stove, for example. So now we've got the mixture here. You can see it's here, the nut roast. Oh, it smells delicious. Oh, I could just eat that now. And this is something that you can actually have just like that, but with pasta or rice. It's delicious. I really highly recommend that you try different variations, okay? But this is our nut roast. I've got some breadcrumbs here, which is fresh bread. For example, you can use whole wheat, whatever bread you want to use. It's entirely up to you. So I'm just going to mix this all in together. This helps it to bind better. I'm also going to mix in the egg and cheese. So I've got 3 beaten eggs here, and I'm just mixing that in. And you can let it cool if you want to, but I just get on with it. And I just, like I said, I don't measure anything. That's why I always because I've got a large family, I always end up cooking for the large family, even when they're not here. But we always have leftovers, so it's a good thing that you can have this. You know, especially when you're working busy during the week, then you've got like, you know, a couple of days of fresh vegetables that's going to be good for you and healthy. So I've just added the cheese in now, as you can see from here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into these small dishes here, because like I said, we like to have some for leftovers or for the next day. Now, when you put this in, what you can do is you can use like grease-proof paper, and then you can then put the nut roast mixture on there as well. But I'm not doing that because I'm quite happy with this, because I don't believe it's going to leak out. So I'm going to pour this in. I've got 2 foil containers here that I'm going to add the nut roast to. So I'll just bring this a bit closer to me, for example. And then I'm just going to pour it in here. And it looks delicious. And I'm trying to even it out so that it goes into an even mixture. Now, what you're best to do first is that you cover it with foil when you put it in the oven. You don't just put it in the oven like this. You cover it with foil. And I will get some foil in a moment. But as you can see, that's one there. And now I'm going to pour the second half into here. Like I said, this is like, I always try and do some batch cooking, whether it's for 2 days or I don't like to sort of cook for 1 day and then again I've got to cook again. So I like to try and think, look, let me try and do 2 days dinner at least, for example. Now, if your family eats meat, because some of us do, we do eat meat, for example. It's only my husband that's a vegetarian, pescatarian, should I say, sorry. And so we have a couple of meat-free days, but my children do like meat, so I do cook meat as well on the same day. So this is what it looks like in the foil containers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some foil on top, and then I will put it into the oven so that it doesn't dry it out straight away. I will let it cook for a further 20 minutes with the foil on top. Then I'm going to take the foil off and then let it cook again for another 15 minutes just to dry it through, but it will still be moist. It will still taste lovely. So join me in 15 minutes. Right, so as you can see, I've covered one with foil already, right here. Now I'm about to do the second one. You just cut off whatever you need, and now I will then put these into the oven and I will let it cook for 15 minutes so that it can cook properly, you know, the vegetables and the lentils, etc. And then after that 15 minutes, what I will do then, I will take the foil lids off and let it cook by itself for 15 minutes just to give it some crispiness. However, not dry. This is not a dry nut roast. Now, many years ago, when I had a nut roast that was cooked for me, it was dry. This is not dry, it is moist, it is delicious. When I say delicious, it's moist, it tastes good, it's got flavor, you don't feel like you're eating cardboard or anything like that. So it's good for when you're having a meat-free day, okay? So I'm just gonna put these in the oven and I will see you in 15 minutes. So hi, welcome back to Christine's Holistic Kitchen, and I just want to show you the nut roast that's just been in the oven, for example. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lid off because now it is now ready to roast in the oven and it will crisp up. But I just wanted to show you the stage by stage. Okay, so I will see you in 15 minutes. Oh, smells lovely. This smells so delicious. I'm just going to take a little bite, just a little bite. I'm sure the family won't mind me sharing this with you. Okay. It is nice. It's got some crispiness to it. You can add whatever you want with it. We're going to have potatoes and some vegetable gravy. Oh. That is delicious. It has got flavour. I can't wait. I actually want to eat all of this now. That's how good it is. It's tender. Oh, it's lovely. It's got a nice texture to it. You can even make a tomato sauce if you want to sprinkle that over with some pasta or roast potatoes, for example. But this is delicious. So let me know. I'm going to put the recipe in the comments anyway. Let me know how you got on with your nut roast, because this is really healthy. It is so good for us, and it's nice to have a few days in the week where we're not having meat. Okay, just to help us to rejuvenate and feel energized as well. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that to you. I hope that you've enjoyed Christine's Holistic Cooking Show, and this is part of the wellness program, is that I will be bringing in healthy foods to eat. I will also be talking about what products that you can use that's going to help you, just like I did the video with the castor oil that I use on a daily basis. I'm going to also show you tonight about when I take my bath, and I'm going to drop a bath bomb in there. I'm also going to talk about how I cleanse my office once a week. You can do it once a month, but once a week, because we've got a lot of conversations going on in the office on our phones, etc. And it's just so nice to clean the office and then use like a sage stick just to cleanse the air, and it just it just makes you feel so good on a Monday morning that you're energized and you're ready to start the week. So I hope that was helpful for you. I do hope that you enjoy the nut roast the same as what we do, and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Goodbye.